might see some very interesting plays, some very interesting attacks.
Some interesting plays. BDS plays a very, very aggressive Oregon. Oh, sorry, Boregon. Navi, also known as a very aggressive team. So I expect nothing but some swings to be happening in this game. That is what we're expecting. I expect Navi to get better with time because they did have a little bit of roster change and they kind of need to settle in. Buck off, jokes in chats. We don't need it. Okay, kite ban. Kind of interesting that the kite ban comes out despite Thatcher being open, but then you just don't need to play Thatcher, period, if you don't want to. Ace is a very typical ban and Mirror is a very typical ban. The only weird ban here is like the Buck, but I guess that's more like a target ban or whatever. Yeah. I don't know if BDS typically plays Buck on this map, but it doesn't ring a bell, so... I was gonna say, everyone plays Sledge on this map because the nades. If you bring the Maverick like Navi is right now, then you can play Buck instead of Sledge and you still get the nades, but... yeah. Nav showing the Ying. I'm a huge fan of it. And it also might trigger 6p onto Warden, for example. But yeah, the fact that... there it is, dude. The fact that you show this is massive. Either you 6-pick off the Ying or you 6-pick onto the Ying. Ying is a side breaker, which is exactly what you want to have for this. But 6ing off it, like this is where a lot of teams, they go wrong. They don't do it. Now they 6-pick off the Ying, they force a fucking Warden, and they go off the Ying, and then the Warden's fucking useless now, right? You still get like MPX or Shotgun and, you know, fucking pistol up a Baron 9 or whatever. Or HMT12 rather. But like, you go from 1 mine to Warden, that's massive. But nothing. Dogi going in first really fast with a drone. This is beautiful map control. Also note that they have a guy going up above. What you can do with that is, let's say they caught a guy, you know, inside servers or whatever, or if there's a guy consisting freezer stairs, you can do, I'm gonna assume it's blur upstairs, you can sledge hole and hold the staircase vertically, you can open up servers vertically, you can do vertical in kitchen vertically, and if they did have a roamer, they could just pick it apart with the vertical way. If you take a buff here at the same time, it's like giga value. Absolute giga value. Mute bulletproof and not C4, yes, for info. I mean, you don't really need C4s on the swamp side unless you're playing like a plant deny, which I don't think BDS Navi is ever gonna get into a plant deny position personally because they play so aggressive, at least not consistently. So since you're not playing the Valkyrie, since you're not playing the Maestro or the Echo, you bring a bulletproof and mute to get some sort of info on wherever you want that piece to be. We always know Shaco plays in this position, so you don't really want info on pillars. So that bulletproof is probably either in blue, it's in freezer, or it's laundry. That way, if BDS loses a player, they can just focus the 4 players on one angle and have the bulletproof cover the other one. If you got smoke, that is your plant deny. Yeah, I mean, you always play smoke, right? And that's why I think smoke should lose the shield, because I think being able to bring smoke every single round, get a shotgun, get a SMG11, get the smoke grenades, and get the shield, I feel like it's just too much in one character. I think in a... see, the bulletproof is there at the bottom of the stairs. It's dead now. If you gave smoke only barbed wire and beat boops, then smoke would be like a, you can pick smoke with the gadget, you can pick smoke which is like a really good operator, sure, but you can't just pick smoke and get everything for nothing kind of thing. Good refrags here on Navi's side, swinging 2 guys down with a nade, 1 guy on hatch to catch the fallback. Refrag comes back from Shaco, there's no surprise there. Pretty sure Shaco is probably one of the best players in Europe at least to play the pillar slash, you know, electric position in Europe. Because he plays such a deadly version of it. Kento is good at playing it, at staying alive. Shaco is really good at playing it and just slaughtering everyone. You got 24 seconds left, you still have hella things to deal with. There's still a couple of shields alive. With 2 smoke grenades. Nav rotating upstairs. The awkward position for the attackers here is that you can't really go anywhere. If you go freezer, you're met with crossfire and you can't help your teammate. If you go laundry, you're 50-50 on the map. If you go blue, you got 20 angles to work with. If you go big tower stairs, you got 20 angles to work with. If you drop the hatch, you gotta run through a door in a hallway. Like, there's no good attack in the 2v2 here. And that is typically why they gang up together and they just play quote-unquote refrags. But again, you got hard right, hard left, the wall, the rotate, the hallway, the freezer. The second you step past this double door, as Hibana did, you just die. And this is like Oregon map design in a nutshell, where this is why it's so freaking defender-sided. Because if you don't have like a 5 versus 4 as an attacker, or a 4 versus 3, or, you know, man advantage, you're gonna lose at least 1 or 2 guys just trying to get inside the goddamn bomb site, right? Because you gotta run into all those angles. And that's also why the ace band is so massive, because the smoke grenades you would have every single round available, because you probably would play ace almost every single round if it was open to you. Those smoke grenades help you take the bomb side control. You know, Navi is getting on the kids repel. I like the fact that they have a guy on the freezer stairs on basement holding the vertical C4s while the XU comes out. That way you kind of securing out the entire area of it. And then you go up white stairs. And that's what Ash is doing here on Doki. That's really good value. And while all this is happening, it's just like causing a big distraction when the bomb goes down. Once the bomb is down, you got two guys holding the same angle. And you see, they didn't kill a single Maestro Cam or a bubble. They don't need to in this circumstance. Because all the kills happened throughout the round, right? Everything happened like 4v4 or 4v5. You see, they push, they got Kids Repel cutting off one angle, have a guy below to be able to like lash out. I guess he gets past Raphael on timing. Nav is not even planting, he's just holding and baiting it out, and that's where the kills get found. Blur gets one, Dewey gets the guy below on Lesion. And then that's, you know, Nav falls back out. It's beautiful. Brit is alone on side. Lem's just below. Brit hitting a nasty shot. Okay. And even if Doki dies in the back here, now they know last guy's life. So it's pretty clean. The only thing is, if Doki didn't kill Raphael on Lesion below on bottom white stairs, this round would have been very different. It all came down to Doki coming up white stairs. And that's kind of where the round was risky. I mean, sure, if you have the Kids Repel player who wasn't there anymore, you can cut off deep peek, but Doki finding the kill and then getting up the stairs just makes a massive difference. Back when I was in Penta, like Penta Pengu, and the thing that we had in Pro League was that there was a rule back in Year 1 Pro League that you are called your organization first, and it was just such a stupid rule, because if everyone is called the organization first, and the spectator back then only showed the first 3 letters, everyone in Penta was called PEN. P-E-N, P-E-N. And what was I called? My name is Pengu, which means P-E-N is my name. So we had 5 P-E-N players. So Bloodbath, who was our commentator back then, would often say, and Pengu wins the round, or Pengu wins the game, because Pen is for Pengu and not for Penta. So every single player was called Pen, 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 and the casters were losing their minds. We then later, like 2 years later, the rule got changed. You need to have the name dot Penta, so the orc comes last. So we had, you know, Fabian, Pengu, you know, etc. And then it was a lot easier for the casters and the spectators to realize who the fuck is who. Because if I was playing Ash, which I did back then, I was a flex player, I wouldn't just play Smoke and Thermite like I did when I retired. I would play Ash 1 round, Sledge the next, Sophia the 3rd, Monty, and then the casters are like, okay, who is Pengu? Because he changes operators every round, and his name is PEN like everyone else. So they had to show the scoreboard a lot and stuff to show who's who. It was a nightmare. It was a complete guessing game. It was pretty good meme content though. There are so many clips of Bloodbath saying, oh, and Pengu wins the round. I'm like, yeah, dude, I was dead, but sure, I won. I'll take it. Look how far back BDS is playing. They're just playing all the way from below. I say back 4, but Shaco peeks out. That's the Shaco special. Again, if Shaco had died there to Blur and not this way where Shaco actually gets the kill, that's where BDS is really, really weak. This is a Hibana trick that I'm actually making a TikTok with this trick as of this moment. It also works if the wall is... you can do this against hatches as well if they're like electrified with soft floor around them and stuff. This is the same as Maverick. It makes the wall soft, so it breaks the reinforcement if done correctly. Yeah, so now that all this is soft, you can then sledge it, block it, explosion it. So it's the same as Maverick. Basically with Hibana, you can make a bigger hole than you otherwise could. This is where Navi is in a dire position, 3 versus 5. They don't really have much ground. The bubbles are still alive. The vertical play is held by BDS. You can't plant in this circumstance whatsoever. Navi needs to get a bunch of kills. They gotta clear out these crucial positions. It's very likely that Shaco hiding here is unbeknown to them, so they're gonna get swung and die. Nope, no one secretly hits a nasty shot that opens up the round. Getting monster control is step 1. Then we can get generator and gotta walk in. Nav hitting a nasty shot 2, 3 versus 3. BDS over peaking massively here, right? No crossfires. They have bubble cams alive. They have smoke grenades alive. They might even have a shield, but highly unlikely. And they're swinging out these really nasty long angles with holos against ACOGs, basically. It's a bit sloppy. Smoke can just deny the plant in gen when it comes down, but instead the gunfights gets taken. It's still hard to plant for Navi because the vertical play is in control of BDS. And they do have a C4 as well. So as long as Brit plays this smart on side, this should be holdable. This is actually a nasty plant position by Nath. Very, very good try. But again, you need to hold so many angles, and there's a Meister camera right behind you, so limited what you can do. But actually a really nice try at problem solving the situation. But if you look at it, it's the wrong place, right? And this is the thing. Navi's not going to know the right play because they don't see everything. But you can assume that at least one guy is below. Turns out they actually had two guys below, basically. Like Lishin just came right, I believe, and we have one guy below still. The right play is to push through the vertical and like kill the guys inside and then plant. So you want to go into kids rotate, you know, push the guy big window, and then you plant. All you got to do is hold wide stairs. So if you just can run in and get that gunfight, one guy holds wide stairs, then you can start planting, and then you actually might have a chance to win. Like this is like the panic play. Let's try and plant, boys, hold F and hope for the best to hit some heads. It's not reliable. And I think a lot of teams, G2 themselves, myself included, when you're playing and you're under all this stress and all this pressure, and you got 1,000 different things you could do, and you need to make the right decision, the easiest decision to make is the wrong one, and that's to plant. You know, you're 2v2, you know, you just plant, hope for the best. You know, you hold F, teammate, you hit some headshots. I'm just gonna hold F and hope for the best. It is not gonna work, you know. The nades of doom being rained from above here is quite nice, but Limsh gets out safe and sound. Massive value that he's bringing for his team here. That is 4 grenades spent, and they didn't really gain much from it. Very well placed by Limsh there, getting out. His flank weren't really being held, however, so Navi missing up the timing. Should be punished in a ideal situation here. Happens to Penta after they all left. We didn't leave Penta, we got bought. G2 Esports bought Penta Sports' roster. So we got transferred from Penta to G2. Then Penta picked up some lower tier teams. Like they tried, you know, in Pro League with like Hungary and those guys. And then a French team. Both of them, you know, they didn't make it. So now they are in tier... I think they're in tier 3 now. I don't know. Doge with a flank from behind. Beautiful entry, getting 2 on Britain and ensures the backbone of the entire defense. And now BDS is to answer back through their own rotation holes, which is super limited in injury. Shaika 1v3, unlikely clutch, but passable nonetheless. Doesn't happen. Ready for some speed. Navi says, fuck it, spearhead Doki going in first, because it comes to Brit, smoke off the board. Elbow has taken control, Blue is taken as well. And BDS answering back very slowly. The issue here is the map is cut in half. You gotta rotate here, impossible to go through. You got blue door into pillars, difficult to go through because you don't have big tower control, don't have pillars control, don't have electric control. So the early kill gets found, but you need to problem solve how you actually get past this area now. And that's the hardest part. But Save's flank and laundry side opens up that side of the map as well. Shaco frags back onto secretly. And now we're past those areas, and now we actually have side control. When Zero last man standing 1-0 and 4 to his name, doesn't get the clutch. So again, you have Saves walking down to lobby stairs, gets a kill. Doe goes in blue first, gets a kill. And then the round just opens. You trade one, trade back, and last guy's hiding here. Very nice from Navi. Very confident, very aggressive, very decisive execute. Saves was gonna flank, Doki was gonna entry, and you work with the kills. Best G2 roster, Paris Major was the most dominant Siege team in the world, I think, still. No one has played as good and as dominant Rainbow Six Siege as G2 at Paris Major. Paris Major G2 Esports was the best team to ever play Siege, I think. Till now, at least. Can entry be IGL? That's the common role forward, yeah. Flex or entry is typically where the IGL will be found. Previously, nowadays, you see a lot of people like myself and Char Canadian, like we were IGLs. We're also playing hard support. But I would say that we all kind of stemmed from the more flex entry roles. Dogi sees a gun barrel. Dogi goes kill. Dogi goes shoot. A little bit of an overextension swing here, but it's fine. Doki was feeling it, I guess. This is kind of where, you know, there's not a whole lot of follow-up. Like, no one is really ready on the hatch. Blur isn't really holding and covering this angle. So Doki kind of goes in solo, gets the kill. He knows he can't really back out again, really. I mean, you could try, but it's ugly. So he goes in and swings instead of 60-50-50 gunfight. He loses it. 1-for-1 trade. It's worth it for Navi to get that kill, because they opened up something. They just failed to capitalize on it, right? Now Renshiro is back in that original position. And Lemsh still has elbow control. I take it back, and Lemsh does not have elbow control. He's dead. Bit of a blunder there. It's all about the frags in this map. Navi could play more execution based with like a Ying, Capital Smokes, etc. But they don't need to, especially not against BDS. This right here is a big blunder. He throws a nade and doesn't even bother looking in this direction. Not gonna swing so intently, but this leaves Rafal under the... Right? Like, that's a bit of a blunder. It's like the shield is so far back that this shield angle doesn't get you much value. But yeah. Really doing the impossible here, basically. Yikes. Bit of a yikes. That's a bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. Also, Brit hitting this kill is just, ugh. Brit's just better. Looked like Naf was stuck in the rotate there, I'm not gonna lie. Like a rubber band. He gets a call, oh, it's clear, you just fucking go for it, and then he gets shot in the back. I see, I see. That's just really unlucky timing then. These are the things we'll never know otherwise. Thank you, Dogi. There's not, I wouldn't say there's that many blunders in Siege, simply because the game is so complex and so advanced. There are very few circumstances where, like, you can't possibly know what you should be doing. Also, I mean, this is nuts. Renshiro gets injured, Shao gets taken down. Playing elbow is very scary as a smoke player. You have 17 bullets and you have no info, and they could push it any given moment. Oh, yeet. Any dead bodies flying around? So basically, I guess one got announced before the other, and they went through negotiations at the same time, and FaZe got like the worst deal. Yeah. Because I remember everyone was like, oh, dude, FaZe signed a terrible deal. Like, I think they were paid like $800, and Liquid was paid like 2K. So like Liquid got paid like over double the amount. And obviously the FaZe players, they were fuming. But like, they just, you know, they didn't know their worth. They asked for too little money. But like, imagine an orc comes to you and they say, so sir, how much money are you expecting to be paid? You sit there as a big fan of these big orcs, and you're like, you don't want to be cocky and fuck it up and be like, oh, I want 2K. But you also don't want to get paid nothing, right? So you say 800, then they say 500, and you settle on 600, and then you're okay with it. The org is fucking laughing to the bank because you're so underpaid, and they just got a cheap deal. Because that's what NIP did, is that they offered every single European pro league team an offer, and the salary was so, like, we would go down in salary. I think we were paid 2.2k in Penta, and I think NIP offered like 2k or like 1750 or something like that. So less salary, and we're like, why would we take a salary cut to join NIP? And they're like, oh, because we're a legendary big org. And Fabian and I are like, that's a fucking scam. Like I don't give a shit if you're, I want to get fucking paid, dude. So they gave every single European team an offer. They all said no. Then they went to Latin America, or Latin, and obviously, like, just like with APAC, in Latin, like, money has more value because of the economy and whatnot. Like, making 1k in Brazil is a lot more money than making 1k in Europe. But also, just like in general, like, it was a smaller league. It was just like new to pro league and stuff. So like, the salaries are lower. NA and EU are the most competitive in terms of salaries. But that's in EU and NA. In APAC and Latin, you make less. Saves going for a big play, not firing. Nice trigger discipline. We'd love to see. That guy was skating, by the way. That's literally is skating around. Nav gets the kill. Beautiful Pepega gunfight. We'd love to see it. Not much can be done. You 1v3. Any swingers? You know, everything's very big now and big orgs, and everyone's making good money in Pro League. You got a pilot program as well. Don't underestimate the pilot program value. You can make thousands and thousands a year if you sign with the right org, with the right skin. The skin matters, right? The good skins sell more. So like, let's just guess. G2 TSM, they make the most by far. Then it's like Liquid, maybe like orcs like FaZe, maybe orcs like Rogue, you know? And then maybe an orc like Dark Zero could be making bank. Like, they don't have a uniform, don't have a weapon skin and charm. But their skin is probably also default cam and shot here, my guy. We just spoke about the first thing you do on attack, you shoot the default cam. Dark Zero probably has, if I had to guess, the most, like, some of the highest sales. If you look at how short the weapon skin has been out for, and you compare like the orc size and the fan base to like TSM, G2, Liquid, FaZe, whatever, they probably have the best numbers, I would guess. Just because I feel like any player would buy their skin. Casual player, ranked player, fan, not a fan. Whereas if you're a G2 fan, you know, our skin is very, very G2 branded. And it works because G2 has a lot of fans. But if you're a casual player who don't give a fuck about G2, you probably don't want to buy it, right? The Dark Zero skin and the Riven skin, I feel like that's probably the most unique and arguably best looking skin in the game, possibly, that anyone could kind of buy into that. If you can pull it off, I think what Dark Zero did with the Leviathan skin is probably the best way to do it. Especially because Siege has so few good skins in the game outside of pilot program, that if you make a skin that's highly accessible, it's just giga stonk value, you know? Blue could go big this round. Secretly has SMG 11, so we're not gonna count him in just yet. He's got the weapon of terror. Has to hold white stairs. This sucks. Holding white stairs at SMG 11 from this angle is like the worst thing in existence. But how low a Lemsh is though, that's gonna help out the gunfight massively. No nades on Maverick, you gotta jump into the gunfight. All I gotta do is play smart now. Nice. Crossfire. If Blur backs up now, that's amazing. If he keeps going in like this, he could have died right there. Leaving secretly in a 1v1, full health on secretly, full health on Maverick. So that's a blunder. Like, this is where it goes wrong. You should back the fuck up. You know his big window, like they clearly knew. And you just hold the jumping angle together. Because secretly can't see this angle that he's peeking. That's like the 1v2 that we spoke about earlier. He sees his feet the entire time. And like Raphael just like completely preparing us out. Jumps in with what, 7 seconds left? Yeah, jumps in with like 7 seconds left and gets meleeed by Blur. Like complete clown fiesta, right? But it's decisions like this from Blur that makes Raphael able to clutch. If this was Shaiko in Raphael's shoes, I think he would have won the round. Because Shaiko wouldn't miss this free kill and then jump in and get meleeed. Like Shaiko just wouldn't, right? He's better. And they're laughing because it worked. But trust me, if they lost that round, they would have been yelling and screaming and being mad. Because it's one of those situations. But it's fine because it worked out. No one died. I mean, Raphael died, but no one important died. Navi survived. You know? Raphael isn't important? No. The last guy to be important in this lineup is Raphael. Let's be honest. Who's important? Shaco's important. Who's important? LMC is important. Who's important? Brit is important. And then it comes down between like Raphael or Renshiro. And I would take Renshiro over Raphael most of the time, personally. So if you're completely honest here, Raphael is not important. He's the least important member of BDS, arguably, right? Arguably. Not because he's not good. He's amazing. But he's in a stacked fucking roster. It's not even arguable. Like, everyone here is insane at the game. This BDS to perfection, by the way, collapsing on every single plausible position in the world. And this is like the best way to counter clash too, because if you have a clash on one area, well, if you attack 4 different areas at once, the clash is gonna do fuck all, right? And then BDS have to win like 50% gunfights. And when you have people like said, Brit, Shaiko, Raphael, Lems, Renshiro, it's not hard to win your 50-50 gunfights. I'm like the biggest bait droner ever. Half the time when I drone, I'm just saying, yeah, it's clear, guys. Because, like, why would there be a guy roaming? You know, like, it's logical, right? And 9.9999 out of 10 times, I'm correct. There is no one there. But it's happened before in both Pro League and practice where I've been like, yeah, it's clear, guys. And then they're like, no, it's not. And they die. That's because I'm a fucking lazy droner myself. At least, sometimes. Now I'm just retired. Not really droning anymore. Dogi is single-handedly putting Navi in his back, dude. I'm not even kidding here. Dogi has been a spearhead the entire series, finding opening kill after opening kill, and now setting up the round for a clutch. Doesn't go for the ace. I respect it. Goes to the safe round. But very, 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 very well played. More swings. Navi, a little bit solo bolo here. Not a whole lot of refragability or anything else. But it has been a gun fiesta so far. Not, oh, you hate to see it. Blur pushes through and finds Brit. Gets refragged back out by a Lemsh. And just like that, we're secretly prone on the floor. All alone and dining while Nath is in basement laundry. And everyone's very isolated here. That is such a hard combat to win. That's where the crouch rotates suck. Like, that's where they absolutely suck. Any ninja diffusers? Ah, okay. That's like, as a pro player, you know, I care a lot about bugs because, like, they ruin the game. Like, audio bugs, heat reg issues, silent C4, silent planting, glitch smoking, right? Like, you smoke here, and then all of this gets smoked. You smoke here, all of this gets smoked. Through the wall. Broken. You know, you smoke here, all this gets smoked. Outside the building even. Like, I hate that as a pro player. That's one of the reasons why I got so frustrated and burned out. And it's one of the reasons why I even retired. It's because it fucking sucks playing a game for a living, for money to win, when a lot of rounds, and it's more than you'd believe, are decided on coin flip, lock, and bad mechanics. Recall changing every fucking patch. It's fun to play the game for fun. It's not fun to play to win and for a living with those circumstances. It's really not. BDS doing something that Navi didn't. They take deep side control very effectively, but they forget about the wide stairs retake. And that punishes them massively. We need to find a frag somewhere for this to work out. Blur gets 1. Gets 2. Massive from Blur. See, once those 2 kills comes out, I would have loved if Navi slowed down and didn't overcommit on the backside. Because the plant had barely started when it happened, right? They make it work. Bomb does go down. Post plant 3v3. Make that 2v3 on the exit. And it's not the greatest post plant on Oregon, but I would say that for what it is, it's a very great one. Blur is single-handedly becoming the spearhead that round.